Hey, come on in. Shake the weather off your jacket. The downpour out there in Sector 4 tonight is intense. It has that heavy, metallic chemical edge to it. The kind of precipitation that eats away at the synthetic leather if you stay exposed beneath the clouds for too long. Sit down on the crates over there by the thermal exhaust vent. It radiates a decent amount of warmth, even if the internal turbine rattles every few minutes. I was just sitting here watching the neon advertisements reflect across the puddles in the alley. The magenta sign across the street, the one advertising the new Neuralink upgrades. It's got the slow, flickering heartbeat. Bzz, pause. Bzz. It's almost hypnotic if you stare at it through the tinted window panes long enough. Everything in this lower district seems to be run on borrowed time and fluctuating voltage. It's strange how quiet it gets down here when the grid undergoes its midnight cycle. Up on the higher tiers, the corporate maglev trains are probably still screaming across the rails, carrying executives who haven't seen a real sky in half a decade. But down here, tucked away between the monolithic concrete foundations of the high-rises, we just get the runoff, the condensation, the stray signals that leak through the heavy shielding. Sometimes I like to tune an old shortwave deck to the dead frequencies, just static, a soft rushing curtain of white noise that masks the perpetual drone of the atmospheric scrubbers, and feels cleaner than the actual air we breathe. I found these in the discarded shipping container behind the hydroponic bays yesterday. Old optical components. I think they belong to an outdated model of scanning goggles, the kind scavengers used before the monolithic corporations integrated everything directly into our retinas. Look at the tint on this one. It has an amber gradient. When you hold it up to the light, the whole world looks like an ancient sunset from the history archives, before the smog permanently blanketed the coast. And there's something comforting about hardware you can actually touch, hold in your palm, unscrew with a basic driver. Everything manufactured in the current era is sealed up tight with smart glue and biometric locks. If a component fails, you don't fix it. You just throw it into the reclamation chutes and purchase the next subscription update. But these glass pieces, they hold on to their shape. They don't require a network handshake just to focus a beam of light. I often wonder who wore the headset these lenses came from. Probably some nocturnal data courier navigating the rooftop pipes, avoiding the patrol drones, or maybe just an engineer trying to trace a short circuit in the water filtration lines. People come and go through Sector 4 like ghosts through a mainframe. We leave behind fragments, a discarded chip, a scratched casing, a stain on the concrete where our boots rested for an hour. Then the city moves on, washing it all away with the next acid storm. Listen to that ring. It's pure. No digital synthesis can perfectly replicate the specific resonance of physical silica vibrating against cold steel. The audio chips try, of course. They introduce artificial micro-imperfections to simulate reality, but your subconscious always registers the algorithm underneath, the predictability of it. This sound right here, it's completely chaotic. Every tap depends on the exact angle of my wrist, the dust on the surface, the humidity in the room. Real randomness is a luxury these days. This is an old electromagnetic shield pouch. It's supposed to protect solid-state memory drives from being wiped when you walk through the corporate security checkpoints. The metal fibers woven into the synthetic polymer give it this incredibly crinkly, crisp texture. I used to keep my personal logs inside one of these, back when I thought my thoughts were worth encrypting. Now everything is just floating out there in the ether, drifting through the massive server hubs uptown. If you don't back up your memories to an external drive, the service providers eventually archive your early childhood to make room for the latest UI themes and software dependencies. It's a strange bargain we made, trading our past for a slightly faster processing speed. Sometimes when I can't sleep, I lie here and try to reconstruct old routes I used to take through the old grid before they built the central plaza. I remember a small noodle shop that had a real neon sign, not a hologram, but actual glass tubes filled with glowing gas. It emitted this warm, soothing hum that vibrated at exactly 60 hertz. And you could sit on a metal stool, eat synthetic broth, and feel the physical electricity vibrating through your spine. The shop is gone now, replaced by a charging terminal for automated delivery drones. But if you dig deep enough into the foundational wiring beneath the streets, you can still find the dead cables that used to feed it power. Thick, insulated copper, sleeping under the modern optical lines. I find solace in knowing the old city is still down there, acting as the bedrock for the new world. It's just buried under layers of obsidian glass and chrome. Can you hear that? Beneath the rain, there's a low-frequency oscillation that comes from the power substation 3 blocks over. Most people train their brains to filter it out, but once you tune your awareness into it, it's like a massive subterranean ambient track. It rises when the factories are drawing maximum current to press sheet metal, and it drops into this smooth, velvety whisper around dawn when the city finally takes a collective breath. I think our bodies learn to sync up with the rhythms of the machinery around us. When the grid is agitated, everyone walks a little faster, speaks a little sharper, but right now, in this particular pocket of the sector, the current is incredibly stable, flat line, a perfect, uninterrupted wave of energy passing through the walls. You look like your ocular implants are entering standby mode. The blue status light in your iris is dimming down. That's good. You should let them rest. You shouldn't keep your optical field active for 18 hours a day. The brain needs to process the world without an overlay sometimes, without notification pop-ups, directional arrows, or real-time price tickers hovering over every object you look at. Just let the darkness be dark. Let the shapes around you just be shapes, not data points to be categorized. Tomorrow, the streets will be loud again. Street vendors will be shouting over the noise of the sweeping subroutines. The corporate advertisements will be blasting directly into our audio canals, and we'll have to put our armor back on. But for the next few hours, none of those signals can reach us here. The heavy concrete walls of this basement are lined with old lead and copper mesh. It's a dead zone. A beautiful, silent dead zone. I'm going to turn down the workbench terminal now. The cooling fan is going to spin down, gradually, until it stops completely. There, just the rain left, slicking the asphalt outside, washing away the grime of Sector 4. The neon light across the street is still blinking, but you can just close your eyes and let it fade into a soft, distant glow behind your eyelids. Don't worry about the updates. Don't worry about the sync logs. Everything can wait until the sun tries to break through the smog layer tomorrow morning. For now, just let your processors idle. Disconnect from the stream. Clear the cache. Power down.